Yes, I know I'm late. I know I'm late. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Some things I just am not in control of. I'm sorry I'm late, but we made it. We made it. Welcome into week 12, everybody. Good morning to you all. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday to you all. This should be a pretty interesting week. It feels like this week is kind of the first week where we've gotten substantial injury news that doesn't just impact that player, right? Like we've got the quarterback injuries, right? We've got the whole Aaron Rodgers debacle, Josh Jacobs now, right? There's a lot to go through today. There is a lot to go through. So I will do my best to try to get through all of your start and sit questions. Let's just get right on into it, shall we? Let's get right on in. Lamar or Drake May this week. It can't go wrong, honestly. I would probably go Lamar just because it's the name, but you legitimately can't go wrong with either one of them this week. Ooh, here we go. Romeo Doubs or Ricky Pearsall in PPR this week. I lean Romeo Doubs. I'm not sure. I want to see a game of Ricky Pearsall, having more than just 3 targets, 1 target, whatever it was. You get what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we go Romeo Doubs. Pulled off a crazy trade, gave up Judkins and AJ for Amon-Ra. What are your thoughts? That's a steal. That's an absolute steal. That's what we call working the phones. That's a great deal. Dogs for Real on YouTube, Rico, Swift, or Emeka in no PPR. You're looking for the guy to score, right? You're looking for whichever guy is going to give you most yards, score, all that stuff. I lean Rico on that one. For me, it goes Rico, then Emeka, and then Swift in that order. I like Emeka to bounce back this week, but I don't like him enough over Rico in a no PPR in a flex spot. Emmanuel Wilson, Michael Wilson. I would go with Michael Wilson on that one. I think it's important to acknowledge that, yes, it is certainly possible that a lot of the production that Michael Wilson saw last week was also because they're just chasing points. This could be, I don't want to say it's a trap game for Jacksonville, but I can definitely see Arizona kind of sticking with them, maybe even winning this game. But I feel like regardless, they don't trust the run game, so they're going to let Jacoby Brissett slinging around the yard. So by doing so, that's going to give Trey McBride and Michael Wilson some opportunity. Who should I start? AJ Brown, Justin Jefferson, Chris Olave, and Michael Wilson. So to start 3 of those guys, let's do this. In my personal rankings this week of these 4, I have it Chris Olave, Justin Jefferson. Actually, sorry. Chris Olave, Michael Wilson, Justin Jefferson, AJ Brown. That's probably the order that I would go with. I would kind of have AJ Brown on the outside. If, though, you think high-scoring game with Dallas, I can definitely understand putting in AJ Brown over Justin Jefferson, especially with the performances of Jefferson with McCarthy right now. I would completely understand going AJ Brown over Jefferson. And that's wild to think that Chris Olave, Michael Wilson are getting the nods, like the instant yeses over AJ Brown and Justin Jefferson. But that's fantasy football for you. Sometimes that happens. Diggs, Pittman, or Justin Jefferson this week. That's a Stephon Diggs one for me. Pretty easy one for me as well, too. Greg on Facebook, Darnell Mooney or Quinshon Judkins in half PPR. I would go Quinshon Judkins on that one. Not feeling super confident with Moody. Really, this whole Atlanta offense, to be honest with you. I don't think you're really starting anybody outside of Bijan and Kyle Pitts because you need to start a tight end, if that makes sense. You're not throwing him in a flex or anything like that. Go Pack Go. Not today, but Alec Pierce or Jordan Addison in half PPR. I would go with Alec Pierce, honest with you. Coming from a Vikings perspective, as you can see right there, skull. you can't trust any pass catchers with the way that McCarthy is playing. That is not giving up a hope. That is not me giving up on the future. That's not me giving up hope or, like saying that McCarthy is done in any sense. I'm just saying as it is right now, it's not good enough. That's fine. Jefferson, Rashee, Amon-Ra, JSN, Olave start 3, the top 3 studs. Rashee Rice, Amon-Ra, and JSN. Spencer on YouTube, thank you for the super chat. Much appreciated, my friend. Much apprecited. Pick 2 in PPR, Aaron Jones, Bashal Tootin, Alec Pierce, Jacoby Myers, Kareem Hunt. Thanks. I got you. In all honesty, there's one for sure for me in this, and that's Kareem Hunt. I think points are scored by Kansas City today. I think they get to the goal line. Kareem Hunt is that guy. So I would go with Kareem Hunt. It's not Jacoby Myers for me. It's not Bashal Tootin for me. It's between Alec Pierce and Aaron Jones. I'll be honest. I lean Aaron Jones, but I like Alec Pierce this week too. And since it's PPR, I think I'm going to go with Alec Pierce. So my 2 here are Kareem Hunt and Alec Pierce. Thank you again for the super chat, by the way. Much appreciated. Who to start? I have Wan'Dale and Travion in my lineup now. Can I switch them out? Who can you switch them out with? I think they're fine. I think you can definitely start them this week. I don't think you need to get them out. Giovanni on YouTube, Roma Dunze, or Jameson Williams. I would say Jameson Williams. Don't be surprised if Rome has a good game this week, but I lean Jameson Williams on that one. Elijah Morton, PPR for the flex, Emmanuel Wilson, Tyrone Tracy, or Wan'Dale. Thank you. PPR is interesting for Wan'Dale this week. I'm probably going to lean Emmanuel Wilson. I'm worried that the Giants could have almost nothing go their way today. But at the same time, you could get a Jameis legacy game, right? It's high ceiling, low floor for Wan'Dale this week versus you know what you're getting with Emmanuel Wilson. So, what are your thoughts on a London trade for who? Don't know if exactly you're going to be getting the full value for Drake London at this point. The other problem though is it's not exactly a hold right now because I don't have much confidence with his injury for the rest of the year. I'm surprised that they were, when I say this, they weren't optimistic the entire week, but like they were holding out hope for a very long time. I think it's because Atlanta is desperate. So that sounds like to me that they're going to try to rush him back. I don't feel great about that. So I think the thing with London, if you're going to move him when it's closer to him returning. That way you can get some kind of full value on him. It just stinks though that it's Kirk Cousins, right? Like that doesn't help. Sean Tucker, David Montgomery this week. No Bucky Irving. Tough run defense, though. I would go David Montgomery. On that one. Bulldog for flex, Brashad Smith or it's Brashard Smith. Sorry. Brashard Smith or Tyjae Spears, or should I pick a Michael Carter? I think if there's a Cardinals running back that you play this week, it's Bam Knight. It's not Michael Carter. I would probably go Tyjae Spears. I just see Seattle absolutely dominating this week. That means Tyjae Spears gets on the field because of game script. Who should I start? Michael Wilson or Jennings? Jawan Jennings, I'm assuming. I would go with Michael Wilson on that one. Pick 2, Tetaroa McMillan, Devontae Adams, Roma Dunze, Wan'Dale Robinson. Devontae Adams for sure. And then it's the last ones between Tet and Rome for me. I lean Tet. Like I said, don't be surprised if Roma Dunze has a good game this week. The matchup plays into his favor here with Pittsburgh, but what we saw from Carolina last week, granted against an Atlanta defense, but with a banged up 49ers defense, Carolina may be able to they may not win the game, but they may be able to have some more success than we think. And the fact that they're kind of giving him the Drake London usage, right? Big receiver inside out, right? In terms of the formations and all that kind of stuff. Gives me some optimism, man. I would go with Tet, but again, don't be surprised if Roma Jr. has a good game this week. NFL fan on YouTube, Wandale or Jacoby Myers. Wandale or Jacoby Myers. I think I would go Wandale on that one still. Derek on YouTube, Emmanuel Wilson, Michael Wilson. That's a Michael Wilson one for me. Pick one, Sean Tucker, Breece Hall, Quinshon Judkins. Oh, don't feel great about Breece this week just because of the matchup, but I feel like you got to stick with Breece. I don't like Sean Tucker's matchup, and he has a Rachaad White problem. Judkins has just become another David Montgomery in some weird way where it's not super high ceiling. I would go with Breece still on that one. Ben on YouTube, should I start Godwin, Alec Pierce, or Christian Watson? For me, it would go Alec Pierce, Christian Watson, and then Chris Godwin. I want to see a game of Godwin first before I try to throw him into a lineup of my. So, who to start? I have Wandale and Travion on my lineup now. I can switch them out with Devonta Smith or Jawan Jennings. I would definitely switch out Wandale for Devonta Smith, and I would roll then with Devonta Smith and Travion Henderson. Football editor on YouTube, Bashal Tune, DJ Moore. That one's a Bashal Tune one for me. I've got zero faith in DJ Moore for the rest of the year. Jack on YouTube, Alec Pierce, Tyrone Tracy. I would go Alec Pierce on that one. Sean Tucker, Wandale Robinson. Aha. If this is not, if this is not the epitome of fantasy football, right? Like, obviously, like, we're 12 weeks into the season now. Like, we know more things than we did at the beginning of the year. But, like, had someone asked me this at the beginning of the year, knowing what we know now, I would have been like, it would have been nutty. I would definitely go Wandale Robinson on that one. Well, trade deadline is Wednesday. Do you think I trade for Ladd? It would be good. I would just see what you can get for Ladd. I'm not convinced that you're going to get him on a cheap deal, but just go see. Just go see what you can get. Bryce Young or Jameis Winston, and Juwan Johnson or Colson Loveland. Little Bear, I would go with Bryce Young, and I would definitely go with Colson Loveland over Juwan Jennings. Genty or Travion Henderson. If you want the volume, go Genty, but if you want the upside, go with Travion. I think that's the stance I'm going to have on Genty for the rest of the year. Is like, if you want the volume, go Genty, but he's not going to give you much upside. Cleveland's run defense isn't great. I would go Travion on that one. Ryan on YouTube, sit one, Javonte, Aaron Jones, Chase Brown, or Quinshon Judkins. You're for sure starting Javonte, for sure starting Chase Brown. It is between Aaron Jones and Quinshon Judkins. I'd probably sit Quinshon Judkins, to be honest with you. At least with Aaron Jones, there is he has the pass catching stuff. It's not been great, but like, Aaron Jones has been one of the few bright spots in the Vikings offense. Quinshon, maybe this is the best way to say it. The Cincinnati and Dallas offenses are better than the Minnesota Cleveland offenses right now, but I still like Minnesota's offense more than Cleveland's. Cleveland's offense, especially with Shedeur this week, I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole. AJ Brown or George Pickens in PPR. I feel like you go George Pickens. I don't feel great about either of them. Like, this really isn't a AJ Brown type game, but he can score. George Pickens is going to have a tough matchup. Quinyon Mitchell is going to be probably the guy that he lines up across from the most, but I got no faith in AJ Brown in these kind of games. And again, the sticky stat that we use for Philly receivers. Who's the guy against man coverage? Who's the guy against zone coverage? Devonta is the guy against zone coverage. Dallas runs a ton of zone. Like, they're like amongst the highest in terms of zone coverage rate. So I would stay away from AJ Brown. I would go Pickens over AJ Brown. Oh, I did not answer that question. Emeka or Travion Stevenson is active today. I would go Emeka on that one. Devin Singletary or Bam Knight? This is the question that I accidentally clicked off of. Sorry, Eli. Between Devin Singletary and Bam Knight, I'm going to go Bam Knight. Joe on Facebook, Jawan Jennings or Rashad White in the flex and PPR. I would go with Jawan Jennings on that one. Big Comfy Couch, Javonte Williams or Chase Brown in the flex and full PPR. I think it's a lot closer at this point than what it was at the beginning of the year. I still would lean Javonte, but Chase Brown is like right behind him. So I really don't, there's not a whole lot to like distinguish between the two, in my opinion. So maybe you can't go wrong. My preference would still be Javonte, but you can go with Chase Brown. I won't complain. I won't have any gripes. Bro, I need help. Start one in wide receiver in the flex. Watson, Downs, Greg Dortch, Tyrone Tracy, David Montgomery, Basal Tuden. Your receiver that you're starting is Christian Watson. And then in your flex, you're playing David Montgomery and you're playing Basal Tuden. Sport on YouTube, Sport Prodigy, Jameson Williams or Ramondre Stevenson in the flex. Jameson Williams for sure. Who'd I start? Michael Pittman, Ricky Pearsall, Christian Watson. I would go Michael Pittman still on that one. Michael Pittman, Alec Pierce, or Dallas Goedert in the flex. I think it's between the Colts receivers here. I still lean Pittman. It's definitely closer now than when at the beginning of the year between Pittman and Pierce. But I would still lean Pittman on that one. Eric at tight end, we're going Kate Otten or Tyler Warren. Go Tyler Warren for sure. In the flex, Rome Odunze, Chase Brown, Wandale Robinson, or Rashad White. I'm going to go Rome Odunze. Chase Brown, no. I think I would go Chase Brown, then Rome Odunze. Oh, gosh, no. I'm going to stay true to myself. Go Rome, then Chase Brown, Wandale, Rashad White in that order. In the order that you have it right there. Same on Facebook, Chase Brown, Brock Bowers. I feel like you got to go Brock Bowers because we're kind of in this like Jalen Waddle territory where it's like, if it's not Brock Bowers, who else, right? If it's not Jalen Waddle, who else? Go Brock Bowers. And yes, Chase Brown does have the Patriots this week. It's not exactly like a walk in the park. It's not exactly a great matchup for Chase Brown. So you're banking on receiving work. Trey Benson or Chris Rodriguez over Tucker or Dowdle or Stevenson rest of season? No, I would still Rashawn Tucker. The only one that could get interesting is Trey Benson, probably over Sean Tucker after Bucky Irving comes back. But like for rest of season stuff, unless things change here in New England, I feel like Dowdle, Stevenson, then Trey Benson. I feel like Trey Benson and Ramondre are like right here, like they are dead even. In that it's like Sean Tucker, Chris Rodriguez they're like neck and neck as well. Daniel Jones or Lamar, go Lamar. Quinshon Judkins, Chase Brown, go Chase Brown. Romeo Dobbs or Emeka Egbuka and PPR, go with Emeka Egbuka. Do I drop Fannin for Kareem Hunt having Warren and could start him rest of season? I would for this week for sure. I would definitely pick up Kareem Hunt for this week. I'm not sure. I'm not too confident saying for the rest of the year starting him, but you get the point. Like for this week for sure. Devonta Smith, Aaron Jones, or Judkins in the flex. Another league, Michael Wilson, Alec Pierce, Jerry Jeudy, or Ricky Pearsall in the flex. Who are you taking? League 1, I'm taking Devonta Smith. League 2, I'm taking Michael Wilson. Tet or Kittle in PPR? Well, who's your tight end? Let me know who your tight end is, because if it's Trey McBride, makes sense. But if it's like Kyle Pitts, makes a difference. Sam Emmanuel Wilson, Brock Bowers, or Emeka Egbuka or Henderson, rank them. My ranking of them this week: Emeka Egbuka, Brock Bowers, Travion, Emmanuel Wilson. Trey Tucker, Rome Odunze, or Breece in the flex? I would go with Rome Odunze on that one. Should I start Breece or Genty between the two? I would go Breece. Leggett or Singletary in full PPR? Probably Leggett. Yeah. I don't think, yes, Singletary got the red zone work. It's just not great this week with in Detroit. Ken Walker or Zay Flowers? In the flex, I think I would go with Zay Flowers on that one. Kareem Hunt or Aaron Jones between the two of them. Kareem Hunt. I have McBride in tight end. That would explain it. I would go Tets. I think my thing with Kittle is that, like, yeah, he can have a good game, but like if you just want like the dude in a passing game, that's Tet. But I feel like it feels wrong to go anyone over it. Like, it's such a good matchup for Kittle. But again, like, you have Christian McCaffrey, you have Juwan Jennings, Ricky Pearsall's back in the mix. I think I lean Tet just slightly still on that one. Addison still play this week. I have Sean Tucker and Boutte starting over him. I have very little faith in Jordan Addison. I feel like if you have to start him, you still have to. But like with Sean Tucker and Boutte, I'm okay taking the chance on Kayshon Boutte this week because I got no faith. No faith. Full PPR, Emmanuel Wilson, Kent Walker. I would go with Emmanuel Wilson on that one. Colson Level and Theo Johnson. I think I lean Colson Loveland. I'm going to go Colson Loveland. I don't feel great about the fact that Theo Johnson's probably going to have to go against like in coverage, right? Since he's a tight end, middle of the field. You're looking at like Brian Branch. You're looking at Jack Campbell. I think I go Colson Loveland on that one. Ted on Facebook, Kyle Monungai, Bashal Tootin, and PPR go with Bashal Tootin. Danny Dimes, Brock Purdy. I lean Brock Purdy over Danny Dimes this week. Wandale or Alec Pierce. Wandale, just don't be surprised. I say Wandale because that in my head that's the right play, but don't be surprised if Alec Pierce has the better week because he gets the bigger play. Last question, Trey Tucker or Ricky Pearsall? I would go with Ricky Pearsall. Any low-end quarterbacks you think are going to do better than Young? Any low-end quarterbacks? No. I think, like, here's just full transparency, right? Here are my top, I'll give you my top 20 quarterbacks this week. It goes Lamar, Drake May, Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes, Matt Stafford, Jared Goff, Dak Prescott, Jacoby Brissett, Brock Purdy, Jordan Love, Caleb Williams, Danny Dimes, Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, Trevor Lawrence, Joe Flacco, Jameis Winston, Tyler Shuck, Bryce Young. That's way optimistic on Tyler Shuck. I would definitely give it to Bryce Young just for state of offense sake. That's what I've got at quarterback this week. Emmanuel Wilson or Jalen Warren in full PPR. I think you still go Jalen Warren. Michael Wilson, DJ Moore, Trey Tucker, Alec Pierce. Go at Michael Wilson on that one. Should I start Tyrone Tracy or Judy in the flex? Probably Tyrone Tracy, just a volume thing. Answered that one already. Keep spamming the same thing over. Whoa, hey, Henry. Wherever you are, Henry, I will get to your question. We just need to ask one time. That's all. Jared Goff, Danny Dimes. I would go with Jared Goff. William on YouTube. Alvin Kamara, Bashal Tootin. I think I still go Alvin Kamara on that one. Sean Tucker, Roma Dunze in the flex from Wheezy. I would go with Roma Dunze. Wandale or Jordan Addison. I would definitely go Wandale on that one. I drafted Jaden Daniels 5, then picked up Dart. Now is between Darnold and Brissett. Go Brissett. What do we do with Stevenson and Henderson? Pay attention to this week. That's the first step. Pay attention to this week. Do we go back to Ramondre as kind of the lead guy? What happened? Do we get more Travion? Is it more 50-50? Pay attention to what happens this week, and then we reassess. I feel like the hot streak that Travion is on, the team would be really, really, really stupid to go away from that, knowing that the run game has struggled all year and you've started to find some kind of success with Travion. That's my leaning. Should I start seeding Lamb? No, you should start Lamb McConkey. Drop Gadsden for Baseball 2, and I have Warren for rest of season. Yeah. I understand the thought process on that one, but I feel like let me know who else is on your bench, because I understand the thought process. I just want to make sure that there isn't anyone that I feel way more about, way more confident in dropping than Rhonda Yatson. Warren, so Jalen Warren, Quinshot Judkins, or the Browns at running back 2. Jalen Warren, I think. Do I start Henderson or Stevenson this week? I would just ride hot hand and go Henderson. PPR, do I start Tet, Rome, or Genty in my flex? For me, it goes Tet, Rome, Genty in that order. Oh, Chase Brown. There it is. So Tyler Warren. No, it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. Jalen Warren, Quinshon Judkins, or Chase Brown at running back 2. I would go Chase Brown. Burrow is not playing. Nick's is on bye. So Joe Flacco or Sam Darnold. I feel like they're two peas in the same pod, where I see the run game's not working out. So they need, for different reasons, obviously. I think I'm going to go Flacco. I know he didn't have a great game against Pittsburgh. I think pretty unique circumstances on that one. I would go Joe Flacco, I think, on that one. Because I see it as a tier, and I just go, you know what? Give me the offense. Yes, I'm saying they don't have Jamar Chase. Golly. Flacco can work a little bit of magic there. Let's see. My bench. Burnt peanut. Gatson, Pittman, Dak, Bucky, Sean Tucker, Christian Watson. Honestly, at this point, go ahead and drop Sean Tucker. Or if you don't want to give up Sean Tucker because of this week, because unless your league is set up differently, if you drop Sean Tucker right now, no one can pick him up and play him. So like he goes to waivers. They play tonight. So he plays, he automatically gets pushed to Wednesday, and we know that Bucky's coming back. So again, if the rules are different, where like if you drop somebody, they immediately become available, little bit different. Then I would probably drop Christian Watson. No, but you're short on wide receivers then. I feel like you got to drop Sean Tucker then. That's where I'm leaning. Monty or Emmanuel Wilson, we go with Monty on that one. Travion, Kyron Williams, go Kyron Williams. Tony Pollard or Kareem Hunt with Pacheco out, go with Kareem Hunt. Tyrone Tracy, Emmanuel Wilson, go with Emmanuel Wilson. Do I start Wilson or AJ Brown or Breece Hall? Assuming that's Michael Wilson. Don't know who else that would be, but I know because Garrett Wilson's out, so I don't know who else the Wilson would be, but I would go Michael Wilson over them. Chris Olave, Stephon Diggs, Roma Dunze, or Emeka Egbuka in the flex. That's a good problem to have. My order this week is Emeka Egbuka, Stephon Diggs, Roma Dunze, Chris Olave. That's how I have it this week. Stephon Diggs, Michael Pittman. I would go with Stephon Diggs. Alec Pierce, Jacoby Myers, Jordan Addison in half PPR. I'm going Alec Pierce on that one. I feel like I keep saying this guy's name wrong. It's Shamir DK. I think that's how you say it. Or Hunter Henry. Assuming it's a flex, I don't feel great about Hunter Henry. usage has gone down. So yes, the matchup is there, but that doesn't mean that it's like a must start for Hunter Henry. Excuse the sirens going by. I know it's ugly. I have a lot of buy. I would just probably go DK. Like, it's him and Van Jefferson. A.O. Manor is out. Calvin Ridley is out. I would go DK. Romeo Doubs, Christian Watson. Between the two Packers receivers, go with Romeo Doubs. AJ Barner, Kyle Pitts, Darnell Washington. I would go Kyle Pitts. I have Stephon Diggs, AJ Brown, Quinshon Judkins, Ted McMillan. Which three should I start? I would start Stephon Diggs for sure. I would start Ted McMillan for sure. And then between Judkins and AJ Brown, I would probably go AJ Brown. I don't want anything to do with the Browns offense this week. Bam Knight, Aaron Jones, and I flex Roma Dunze, whichever you don't choose. So running back, I would choose Aaron Jones. So in the flex between Roma Dunze, Bam Knight, go Roma Dunze. Quinshon Judkins, Bam Knight, Sean Tucker, Kareem Hunt. Pick one. I would go with Kareem Hunt on that one. Should I start Jameson Williams? Yes, but let's not get reckless about it. Like, you're not just throwing him in for the sake of throwing him in. Where did I rank Travion for the rest of this season? Travion was my running back 13 rest of the year. Any love for Shedeur? Not until he plays a good game. Do you think it's a Gibbs Monty from his rookie year? That's kind of the easy way to look at it. Like, the easy thought process is just like speedster eventually overtakes. But Mike Vrabel is very different than Ben Johnson. So that's where my holdup is, really. Michael Wilson or David Montgomery in flex and full PPR because Demos have 5 weeks in a row below 11. Monty definitely has not been doing super great, but the matchup this week should allow him to bounce back. But in full PPR with Michael Wilson, go Michael Wilson. Kamani Vidal or Tucker for next week. Oh, we're already getting to next week's stuff. I assume if Irving's back, right, then Vidal. Yes, correct. Devonta Smith, Breece Hall, Travion Henderson, or Tet in the flex and PPR. I feel like this one is between Tet and Devonta Smith. Well, how do I say this? You're getting a ceiling with Travion that Tet, and because both Devonta Smith and Tet will need touchdowns. They all do. So how do I in PPR? It's just hard to go against Cincinnati when you're a running back. Like, it's hard to pass that up. That's what I mean. Oh, gosh. How about this? Okay. Travion this week for me is my running back 13. Breece is my running back 16. Devonta Smith is my wide receiver 8 this week. Tet McMillan is my wide receiver 10 this week. So I feel great about 3 of the 4 here. In the flex, I would go Devonta Smith. Who should I start in the flex? Jacoby Myers, Kareem Hunt, go Kareem Hunt. Kelsey, Harold Fanning, go Kelsey. Pick 2 between Judkins, Genty, Aaron Jones, Jalen Warren. I would go Genty just because it's volume. Not, you don't feel great about it, but it's volume. And I would probably go Aaron Jones then after. Sean Tucker, Zach Charbonnet. I would go with Zach Charbonnet. I'd go Zach Charbonnet. Yeah. I just don't feel great about Sean Tucker in this matchup, man. I don't feel great about it. Pick 2, Roma Junze, Michael Wilson, Emmanuel Wilson. First 2, Roma Junze, Michael Wilson. Appreciate the help, Ty. Hey, of course, guys. Anytime. Hey, if you do appreciate the help, best way to show your thanks and appreciation for it, just hit that subscribe button. We're coming out with content every single week for you guys. Last week we did our rest of season rankings, and actually for the rest of the year, the first 2 episodes that you're going to get from us are rest of the season running back and wide receiver rankings, right? So taking data that we are acquiring as we're getting further on into the season, looking at schedules, looking at all the usage trends, all that stuff. So we do those every single week for you guys from here on out. Then our starts and sits episode. So again, if you're not following, you should. Just hit that subscribe button. Michael Wilson, AJ Brown, Justin Jefferson, or ETN, Michael Wilson or AJ Brown, and we can go Jettas, ETN, and AJ Brown. Which one? 1, 2, or 3? Go. What the? Okay, so for wide receivers. Gosh. I feel like I would go Michael Wilson over AJ Brown. So it's like Jefferson, ETN, and Michael Wilson. Yes. Yeah, that one. It's Bucky coming back next week. That's what it points to. That's what they're ramping up. That's what they're ramping up towards. Devonta Smith, Romeo Dobbs, go Devonta Smith. Roma Junze, Ricky Pearsall, Tyron Tracy in the flex, go Roma Junze. Tucker, hard matchup, great upside. Sure. I just don't. I think that's my problem with Sean Tucker is I can't pinpoint what the upside is. I feel like a lot of people are just going to go, look at what he did last week. That's the upside. That's a one-off game for Sean Tucker. And he has those one-offs every single year. It's one game a year. And it's that's where I think, again, that's where my struggle is with Sean Tucker is I'm like, I don't know what the upside is. The upside is not 30 points, not with this defense, not with this Rams defense. So I get what you're saying, but I'm just explaining where my thought is with Sean Tucker. It's just like, I don't know where the upside can, how good it can be, you know? Jesse on Facebook, Brock Bowers, Jake Ferguson, go Brock Bowers, Ted or Javonte Williams. I go Javonte. If it's half PPR, go Javonte. If it's full, go Ted McMillan. Aaron Jones or Kareem Hunt over Sean Tucker. I would go Kareem Hunt, then Aaron Jones, then Sean Tucker. Should I just drop Sean Tucker for allergies? Algier or Singletary since Bucky is coming back next week? No. No. I wouldn't, just on the chance that autocorrect classic. It's on the chance that they can Bucky Irving isn't the full-time guy right out of the gate, then you maybe have some value with Sean Tucker. And for all the other thing is too, if he has a decent enough game, again, we just had the great debate of what's the upside for Sean Tucker. If he's by far the more productive back, there's a world where Sean Tucker stays involved enough when Bucky Irving comes back for the first game or two. So that's what I think. I think you're fine holding on to Sean Tucker. If you're going to pick up one of those backup running backs, I would pick up Algier. Thanks for all the effort you put into these. Of course, Caleb. Of course, anytime. Jalen Warren and Roma Dunze full PPR in the flex. I would go with Roma Dunze on that one. Need one in the flex. Ken Walker, Michael Wilson, Judkins, Kamara, Aaron Jones, Emmanuel Wilson, Michael Wilson. Sit one. Jalen Warren, Rico, Chase Brown. I would sit Jalen Warren. Darnell Mooney, Jake Ferguson in the flex. Probably Ferguson. It's not been great for Ferguson lately. No. I think you go Mooney. That opportunity is too good to pass up there for Jake Ferguson. Choose two, Michael Wilson, Olave, Judkins. Right now got Olave, Michael Wilson. I would leave it at that. I would go with those two as well. Ken Walker, Alec Pierce. Something tells me that Zach Charbonnet is going to be more involved today because of the injury that Ken Walker was dealing with. I would go Alec Pierce. Ken Walker over Sean Tucker this week. Kenneth was on the injury report. So was everyone else that's playing today. I know Ken Walker's injury popped up last minute. I still give him the edge over on the matchup. I don't know. I feel like that one, I'm just going to wash my hands and just be like, you do what you want to do. I don't have a good answer for that one, which yes, you tune in to get a clear answer for me. I don't feel great about either of them this week, to be completely honest. Is Jalen Warren a good start with three of the Bears linebackers out? I have Chase Brown or Judkins as my other options. Already started James Cook. I would start Chase Brown over Jalen Warren on that one. Bo on Facebook, Dak Prescott, Jacoby Brissett. I lean. I feel like they're they're back to back in my rankings at this point. Go hot hand. Go with the hot hand. Go with Jacoby, probably. Start two, put one on the bench. AJ Brown, Wandale, or Devonta Smith. You're for sure starting Devonta Smith. I don't feel great about playing two receivers. But it's AJ Brown. I feel like you got to play both Philly receivers there. Thank you. Of course. DK Jefferson. Oh, we love this. DK Van Jefferson, not Justin Jefferson, Van Jefferson. Jalen Coker, Kadarius Hodge, Greg Dortch, pick one. DK. Bo, thanks, man. Of course. Anytime. Roma Dunze, Emmanuel Wilson, David Montgomery in the flex, pick one. Roma Dunze. Dak or Caleb Williams this week. I would lean. I think I still give the edge to Dak on that one. Full PPR, sit one, Judkins, ETN, Jalen Warren. I think I'm benching. Judkins. All the thank yous coming in. You guys are very, very welcome. Very welcome. I'm happy to do these. These work out really, really nicely. Lou the Seal, Ferguson, or Kyle Pitts. I'm going to go Kyle Pitts on that one. Would you play Jalen Warren, Devonta Smith in the flex? Devonta Smith this week. Absolutely. Pick two in PPR, Darius Slayton. I believe he is out. So Kyle Pitts, Parker Washington, Tony Pollard, Christian Watson. I would go with Christian Watson. And I would go Kyle Pitts, I think. Do you think Judkins has value after how bad the Browns offense is? Not as much as you would want it to be. Because the thing is right now is it would be a different story if Cleveland just committed to making Quinshon Judkins their offense, but they're not. So that makes Judkins look bad then on top of it. So every player has value. It's just not where you want it to be. Falcons or Browns defense this week. Browns against Vegas. Falcons against the Saints. I'm probably going to go Browns defense. Do I start Ramondre Stevenson or Jawan Jennings today in my last flex? I would go Jawan Jennings. Exactly where I'm at right now. Probably sitting Judkins, but hate doing it. LOL. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Judkins feels it, how do I say this? We're quickly approaching the Bill Krosky Mara territory of just like, I know exactly what I'm get with you, right? Like your offense isn't going to do well, so neither are you. Breece Hall, Aaron Jones, or Genty have to start too. Genty probably just because of volume. Don't feel great about it. Aaron Jones or Breece though, I'd probably go Breece. Daniel on Facebook, Alec Pierce or Genty. Genty, that's just a volume thing. Christian Watson, Kenny Gainwell, go Christian Watson. Who did you start this week? Trevor Lawrence against Arizona, Jameis Winston against the Lions, Mason Rudolph versus the Bears, Tyler Shuck versus the Falcons. I think Trevor Lawrence is probably the right pick. I think I would have it as Trevor Lawrence, Jameis Winston, Shuck, then Rudolph. I think that's how I would order it. Started Dalton Schultz. I'm feeling so sad. I have Ferg on my bench. Both were hard to choose from. It's impossible to choose from these kind of like lower starting tight end options. Chris on YouTube, Gibbs, Chase Brown, Travion Diggs, Pittman. Nope, not Pittman. Pickens, Ted McMillan, full PPR. Sit one. Oh Lord. Oh no. You're really gonna see my brain work on this one. You're for sure starting Gibbs. You're for sure starting Ted McMillan and Diggs. So now we're looking at Chase Brown, Travion, and Pickens in full PPR. Pickens. I think Chase Brown's the odd one out here. That would be, I think Chase Brown is the odd one out for me. Michael Wilson or AJ Brown, then Rico Dowdle or Chase Brown in half PPR. I like Michael Wilson. Rico or Chase Brown. Rico. Jeff on Facebook, Spears, Pollard, or Tootin in the flex need one. Honestly, man. I like Bashal Tootin. I really like Bashal Tootin over those two. JMO or Pittman, I would go with JMO for sure. Just traded Ladd, Bill, and Breece for Chase Brown, Sutton, and Jennings. I think I slightly won that deal. You got rid of Ladd, Bill, Breece for Chase Brown, Sutton, and Jennings. I go back to what Cam says about these trades. When there's this many players, I just want the best player. I think the best player in this deal is actually Ladd. So essentially what you are needing to make up from going from Ladd to, oh my word, to make up from going Ladd to Chase Brown, you need Sutton and Jennings to outscore Bill and Breece Hall. That's where I get a little sus. Hunter Henry, Colson Loveland. I think I'm going to go Hunter Henry on that one. Don't feel great about either of them, but I would go Hunter Henry just for matchup. Bam Knight, Alec Pierce in half PPR. I would go with Alec Pierce. Sam, thanks, of course. Made a huge trade yesterday. I got Rashee Rice and JSN. I gave just who's your quarterback now? I think I won probably. So I think the best player in this deal. I mean, you got the best. My rest of season rankings. I think I have. Do I have Rashee over? I have Rashee and JSN over Amon-Ra. Yeah, not bad. Starting Brissett. That's right. Burrow and Dart. Yeah, I think you won that one. Last flex spot, ETN, Flowers, or Emmanuel Wilson. In that order, ETN, Flowers, and then Emmanuel Wilson. Do I trade Rome for Bucky? No. I'm waiting until after this week on the chance that Rome has a great game, and maybe you're able to get someone better than Bucky. That's what I would do. Is Joe Flacco a good play this week? I think in a pinch. I think he's one of the better streamer options this week, but he's not a must start by any means. Romer or Roman Sutton for Jacobs. That I can get behind a little bit more. Hopefully you just got some receivers to make up for losing two then. Yesterday I traded Chase Brown, Jalen Warren for Rico Dowdle, Woody Marks. That means I got JT and Rico for the two running backs. Not terrible. Not terrible at all. King on YouTube, I have Ted, AJ Brown, and Olave right now. Running backs with Bijan and Brees. Chase Brown's upside better than Brees. Correct. I would probably play Chase Brown over Brees. I think that's where I'm at on that one. All right, y'all. Let's go for 2 more minutes. Make some changes. Get ready for some week 12 action. So get your last questions in here. Fire away. Anyone on the wire you would start over Genty? Not really, unfortunately. It's hard to find guys on the waiver. Like, how do I say this? Genty gets the volume that the guys on the waivers will never have. They'll probably have they could have the one play that makes it a better week than Genty, but take the chance on the volume. Harold Fannin or a waiver guy like Mason Taylor, Noah Fant. Nah, go Harold Fannin on that one. Christian Watson, Bam Knight, or Darnell Mooney. I would go Christian Watson. Who would you play in the flex? Kate Otten or Luther Burden? Would you swap Strange for Otten? No. I think I'm going Kate Otten for both. I would play Otten over Luther Burden. I want to see a Luther Burden game first. And then I want to give a week for Strange to come back from his injury. So Strange looking real good. I hope so. I just want to see it in a game first. I have to start Ken Walker and Zach Charbonnet. I might be cooked this week. Fantasy football. That is fantasy football for you. Who should I start at flex? And tight end, Tyler Warren, Kittle, or Michael Wilson? I would start George Kittle at tight end. Then it's between Michael Wilson, Tyler Warren. Gosh, that one is. That's a heater. I think I'm going to start Tyler Warren over Michael Wilson. Tyler Warren over Michael Wilson. That feels right to me. Just out of curiosity, do you like the NFL or NBA more? I like the NFL more than the NBA. That being said, I do coach basketball. So if there's a sport that I can talk much more fluently in, it's basketball. Not to say that I can't talk football at all. I've been around basketball more than football. But I can talk football, but I can give you X's and O's for basketball because I've just been around it for so long. So I like NFL more than NBA though. Back to your question. J-Mo or Devonta in the flex? J-Mo. No, Devonta Smith. That was a close one. Tyler Warren, Brock Bowers. I would go Brock Bowers. Same. Thank you, by the way, for today. You're the GOAT. Appreciate you guys. You're using Fantasy Pros for your answers? I am not using my own rankings, actually, which you can get on our Discord. They come out every single week, absolutely free. All you got to do is join. It should be in the link there's a link for it in the description. So choose to Michael Wilson, Olave, or Judkins. Right now, got Olave, Michael Wilson. I would keep it that way. Last one here, ETN, Chase Brown, or Jalen Warren. What two do I start? I would go ETN and Chase Brown. Alrighty, y'all. Enjoy week 12. Best of luck to you guys in your matchups. Let's start pushing for the playoffs. Let's start pushing for a championship. If you are sitting on that 500 mark, I wish you all the luck today. Let's get a win so we can lock in a playoff spot, and then we go all out for a championship. So, W's in the chat. Alrighty, y'all. Enjoy week 12. We'll see you later. We'll see you in the next rest of season running back rankings that comes out on Tuesday. Later. Deuces.